Hello, I'm Sharon Dowsett and welcome to my flute lessons. This is music theory lesson part 2. So in the last part we dealt with note duration and pulse and splitting the music up into bars with bar lines. Today we're going to talk about pitch of the notes. So when you see a note written on a piece of music, it essentially at its most basic level is telling you two things. It's first of all telling you the duration, that's how long to hold the note for, which we were talking about last time. But it also now shows you which note it is you're going to play, the pitch of the note. Is it a C? Is it a G? And that's what you're going to have to learn to work out next. So here's my stave, my 5 lines going across the page, which I've just drawn out with my own fair hands for you. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines counting up from the bottom and 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you visualised yourself standing on a racetrack with the lines, the tracks right going out in front of you, you would see the white lines printed and then there'd be gaps where you'd be standing to start your race. And so if you were standing there waiting for your whistle to go to start the race, you would be going straight down the centre of one of the spaces on the track. So that is your space. If you were standing on one of the white lines printed on the grass, that would be literally on a line. So the same thing applies here. That's your space. So if a note's in a space, it will be within those 2 lines. And if it's on the line, it'll be completely stuck on top of it. Not above it or on it that way, sitting on it, but actually stuck on top of it. So let's start with the spaces. So there's 4 spaces. Your bottom space here. I'm just drawing semi-breves just because it's easier. Then you've got another one here. The third one up. And the top one. So this note here is an F. This note here is an A. Then we climb up. This is our C. And the top one here is an E. What I should have said before was that the music's named after the first 7 letters of the alphabet. That's A, B, C, D, E, F and G. So they won't be in that order when we're dealing separately with lines and spaces. So here's our spaces, F, A, C, E, and as you can see, nice and clearly, it spells the word face. So that's really easy to remember. So if you see a note in a space, just count up from the bottom. So if you just saw this one, you would just go F, A, C. Aha, I'm playing a C here. Or if you saw this one, you would go F, A. Right, I'm playing an A. So those are your spaces. The same principle applies for your lines. So the bottom line here, that's another E. Then we go up to this line, that's a G. The middle line is the B. That's the first note you learn to play. Up here is a D. And then the very top line is an F. So you'd follow the same principles here. If you just saw this note by itself, you'd have to count up from the bottom, E, G, B, D. There is a way of remembering that. I know it's not as clear as your face, but every good boy deserves flute. There we go. That's how to remember those. So if I saw this one, I would just count up every good boy, or this one, every good boy deserves flute. If you are struggling with note reading, don't write the note letter names underneath your part, or you'll never learn how to do it. You'll just always read what you've written. And if you've written the wrong thing, then you'll end up playing the wrong note. And you also won't be looking at the length of the notes, the duration of the notes. You'll just be reading your letter name. So try and avoid doing that. If you're really struggling to read the notes and you can't remember them, have this written out next to you so you can just refer back to your notes to see which one it is that you're supposed to be playing. And you will soon get really used to just either counting up your spaces or counting up your lines to work out which note it actually is that you're playing. On the next stave, I'm going to write down all the notes that you've done so far. So your first note you did was your B. There's a crotchet B, 1 count. Then we went down 1 more note. That was your note A. Then we did the G, which is another line down. Then I showed you how to play a C, and the next tutorial after that was this one. Now what I would like to point out with this one, which I did touch upon very briefly last time, was because the stem is going down here. It's still a crotchet like one of these, but anything middle below the stems always point upwards, and anything middle can actually go either way, but above that, so a C, and anything higher than that, so a D, an E or an F, the stems of the note will always go downwards, and that is for neatness, so that they're always contained within the stave, rather than if you were writing some really high up and the stems were also pointing high up, there would be a lot of wasted space on the page and it wouldn't look so neat. So that's your C. And I taught you how to play a B flat, so that's like a B here. But to show that it's a B flat, has a little flat sign in front of it. It looks like this. That's a flat sign, so that's your B flat. B flat. And then I showed you how to play an F down here. And the last note we looked at was an E. Like that. So you could even have the ones that you know written out on a little piece of paper as well to help you. So I am going to move this up here for a minute. So you can still look at it if you need to help with the next section, where I've actually composed you your very own piece of music. And I'm going to show you how to put the techniques we learned of the duration of the notes and the pitch of the notes into practice now. Okay, so let's see what we can notice about the music before we try and play it. We've got our treble clef, our time signature that's telling us there's 4 counts in a bar, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 bars in the music. This bottom number here is not telling me that. It's not telling me that there's 4 bars in the music. That's something else that I'm going to come to another time. So don't worry about that one at the moment. You just need to know there's 4 crotchet counts in each bar at the moment. So, starting with my first note, I can see that it's got a empty head, but it's got a stem. So I know it's worth duration of 2 beats. Then these are 1 count each. So it's the counting of this bar, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I need to work out the pitch of each note. So this is on a line, bottom, from counting from the bottom, every good boy, so that's a B. Then I have another B here, B. Then this one is in a space, so the spaces were running with face, so F, A, that's a A there. So far I've got B, B, A in that bar. This bar, I have, starting with the crotchet 1 count, and let's work the pitch of the note out. So it's in the 3rd space up, F, A, C. So I start on a C, then I'm on a line here for this one, so every good boy, so C, B, then I'm in a space again, F, A, 2 counts on an A, so C, B, A. You might find when you're starting out and you're learning a piece, you might just want to go through 1 bar at a time, just count this bar out, then work out the pitch of the notes, then play that 1 bar a few times until you're really happy with it before you even look at the 2nd bar, and then you could join the 2 bars up. Then I'm going down here, I'm doing this double speed because you can watch it again and again. Here I've got every good, that's a G, and it's 1 count, so 1. These are 2 quavers with the beam here, so they're half counts each. 2 and 3, 4 is the counting. 1, 2 and 3, 4. And the notes G, G, A, B, G in that bar. Last bar, crotchet, crotchet, minim, so 1, 1 and 2, A, B, G. So you could go through and clap out your beat if you wanted first. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's me counting the 4 in each bar, but clapping the rhythm of the note durations before I try and play it. Then you can attempt to play it. So what I'll do is put the metronome on. 3, 4, with 4 counts in the bar, so that you can hear the pulse going as I play my 4 bar piece of music. Here we go. you might find you keep tripping over, making mistakes. That's okay. Just take one bar at a time and work on it until that one bar is perfect. And then take the next bar and then join them up again. So chunk it, break it into little chunks and practice chunks rather than trying to play from beginning to end correctly all the way through. You'll get better results if you just practice small sections of the piece and then join it up. Okay, good luck with that. So picture the notes, face for the spaces, and every good boy deserves flute or fun for the lines. And then those are the notes you know: B, A, G, C, B flat, F and E. Good luck with that. Happy practicing. Bye bye.